And but looking back on Kojima's career and stuff like that, and how he developed, I can definitely see the similarity between that and other games. You know, um,
Yeah.
uh, but I think fortunately Kojima kept his kind of expository, diary of the mouth limited to Jordan, in that
Yeah.
game.
What was
You
it?
know,
The
somewhat so.
Japanese version.
The
Sorry to
computer,
interrupt
right?
you. I didn't mean to
Oh,
do
that's
that.
right.
What was Ryan? What was the Japanese name for Jordan again? Like Goody or
That was
something?
yeah, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
I don't want to just to throw in another question for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, do you agree with everybody else that the original Japanese abbreviation for the full name of Junker, I think it was like Judgment,
Yeah,
Uninfected, Naked,
unaffected,
Kind?
naked, and something ranger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's why.
yeah. Educated ranger. What do I what?
Just what was your opinion when you first saw that?
My opinion of that is that how are we gonna explain that other than it's just a I mean, what would the fuck would you guys do with that thing? I mean, judgment un what is it?
Uninfected,
Judgment judgment uninfected.
naked, kind, I think, and
Naked kind. How do
uh,
you?
yeah. How do you bring that over to America?
I thought. I
Judgment,
guess I.
naked.
Yeah, I guess I thought we could do better. And what did we wind up with?
Oh man, you got me at the wrong time. I
Oh,
was like
oh,
neurokinetic or something like that. The end
right.
was oh
Right? Am I right? So it's like
yeah, you nailed it real good though. That's one of the things I think when I first read the
neurokinetic
Japanese
something.
version,
Yeah, yeah. Neurokinetic something something.
it was pretty bad in Japanese. I mean, these guys don't know English that much, so
No,
it's.
they work with dictionaries.
But I mean, it's like you don't see American developers. I mean, I can't really say because I don't know a whole lot of Japanese, but you don't just see them take like five Japanese words and throw them together. If you, that's
That's
just the way.
true. But this brings us to an interesting subject, which is you could kind of use to tie into the larger theme of some of the other questions that I know you want to get into,
Hmm.
and that is when you look at Metal Gear Solid and you look at the fact that it relies upon Western conventions, for its visual storytelling and stuff like that. It's an interesting thing because Kojima is a guy who is an enormous fan of movies, clearly, and he's internalized all these different, you know, Hollywood, cinematic conventions, and managed to. I think he probably wanted to be a movie maker, and he's managed to bring these into video games. And whether or not that's a good thing for games is a whole is a subject for a PhD thesis. So
Hmm.
I'll just leave that for someone else to talk about. But what I wanted to mention is that it's interesting because it's a kind of a blowback. You're looking at um, all this influence coming from the West to a Japanese guy, and he's bringing it back to the West. You know, um,
Yeah.
and what was I going to say about that? So these how did you bring up the subject? The names, like this judgment uninfected,
Yeah.
his use of English without really caring about it, um, is an interesting subject. Okay, and you want to talk about why there was some difficulty between us. You're kind of getting into it here. Okay,
Hmm.
um, it's not unrelated, I guess is what I want to say. Um, I guess the best way to put it from my perspective is that first of all he's an auteur. Okay, so he from the very start he has a large ego, which is a necessary thing in order to drive a large number of people to follow a project. Okay,
Yeah.
you
Kojima.
have to. Yeah, you got to
Oh
be a
yeah,
great.
he
You
is a
got to
pretty
have
big
a
ego.
you got to have a big ego and and be sure you're right about
We
everything.
had
I suppose.
sorry, I'm not sorry to interrupt you. We had a guy
That's
we
okay. Then.
interviewed him last episode and a couple episodes ago, and he said that he met Kojima at some sort of party, and I can't remember if he said that he was drunk or something, but he wanted to get it. He asked, can I have a picture with you? And not only did Kojima say no, Kojima gently pushed him away and said, "Mr. Kojima is busy now." I'm like, come on.
Is that right?
Yeah, and
I got.
I took it, like,
To be fair, he does get a little tipsy at those parties.
yeah, there's actually pictures of him kind of drunk with Heineken in his hands or something like
Is
that.
that right? I
Yeah.
don't. I don't. My encounters with Kojima are pretty limited. Some of them are rather interesting. But in any case, I don't know how much I could get into on the air about that. Um, because we were on a company vacation together,
Yeah.
to Mount Fuji.
Mhm.
You know, wacky happenings in the in the inn. Uh, anyway, so the thing is, look, here's where it all happened. Okay, so I do this translation. I'm working on it for 6 months, right?
Mm.
I went crazy doing this translation. I actually I had to go on medication. I was starting to have panic, attacks, and I had to go on like some kind of like, and went on. Curiously enough, ironically enough, I was on, I think, basically the same thing that Snake was on, the diazepam. Basically, we were both on the same drug there at the same point, um, for different reasons. He wanted to relax his hand so he could shoot, and I wanted to relax my hand so I could type. You know.
Mhm.
Um, but anyway, the point is I do this translation, and um, in the interest of achieving what I felt Kojima was trying to achieve with his audience, um, he gets an impact when he does a cliche of a Western movie, for example, because Japanese people, right, they've grown up on Western movies too. So, but it's a different dynamic because they're not as sophisticated or, blah, 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 blah. It's a different culture. So he can achieve the same impact with a Japanese audience, say, with a line that's so cornbally that with us it would achieve nothing but a snicker. Okay, are you with me?
Mhm. Yeah. Here in
Okay.
America, that way you know I'm a sicker, right?
And I can give you a line that got through, for example, past me because it was forced past me. And these are going to be the lines that are the ones that we do snicker at the most. Love blooming on battlefield. Any of you guys think I wanted to put that in?
Yeah, I kind of was
You know,
divided on that one. Love blooming on the battlefield.
yeah,
It
believe me,
just felt out of place.
Yeah.
well, I had other things I wanted to say. Believe me.
Yeah, and
Um,
Otacon just comes
but
out of nowhere,
when you got a couple of flunkies sent from Japan to attend the recording session, especially because they weren't quick enough to catch up with everything I put in the translation.
Mm.
It was too much text, so I got a lot of stuff passed initially, and then they caught some of the stuff on their first read through. Why did you write this? They'd say to me, and I'd say, well, and believe me, I was always trying to really service the demands of the game and achieve by changing the translation so it wasn't a direct translation in some cases. I wanted to achieve what Kojima had been achieving among his what he what I felt that I knew what he was going for so that I could actually achieve it better by not translating directly. But that is lost in translation when you have his flunkies are going over the game, especially later when they made Integral. They went over it with a fine tooth comb because they had to lay it out 1-to-1 ratio for this option of choosing, which you want to go with, right?
Yeah, and they included
Um,
English voice acting too. Was the text edited any? The Japanese
I don't, I
version?
don't, I don't know.
Ah,
I don't know.
okay.
Um, but they went over it with a fine tooth comb, 1-to-1 ratio, looking at each line, probably guides with dictionaries, I'm here in America. I don't have an audience with him anymore. The work's done. So now people are whispering in his ear, and he's a guy with a very big ego. And what they're whispering in his ear is, "Hey, this is different. Hey, this is different. Hey, this is different." You know. And
Yeah.
if you're a person with only one language, you may suffer from the misconception that to translate something is to replace it with the words that are the equivalent that you can find in a dictionary. So you just look in the dictionary and you say, okay, this is the word for you know converse, and you just put this here and you just put this here. It's not like that. It's not like that if you want to get a good product.
Yeah.